Welcome back. Alicia Elias-Roberts is an attorney at law and law lecturer at the UWI St. Augustine campus. She is here to tell us about the Faculty of Law hosting their second biennial Oil and Gas Law Conference. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for welcoming me on the program. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. I am pleased to give you some information about the second biannual Oil and Gas Law Conference that is being organized by the Faculty of Law at the St. Augustine campus. Before I talk about the conference, just permit me a few minutes to talk about the Faculty of Law generally at the St. Augustine campus. As you may be aware, this is the Faculty of Law at the St. Augustine campus is a new faculty being established in Trinidad and Tobago. Prior to the faculty being established here in Trinidad and Tobago, there was a faculty in Clayville in Barbados. But from 2011, we established a full faculty in Trinidad and Tobago. So at the St. Augustine campus, you can now do the full LLB program at the St. Augustine campus. You can also do a master's LLM program, and we have a PhD program that we offer. So we have a full-fledged faculty, and I developed an oil and gas law course in 2012, 2013. It was offered for the first time.
Now, what is the role of legal professionals in oil and gas or energy?
They play a strategic role because in the energy sector, you have contracts throughout the business, from the appraisal and exploration phase to the various stages of exploration and production. Contracts are needed, and attorneys should be there to guide the contracts. Also, the government as the main regulator in the industry would need to have laws in place to regulate the industry. So attorneys can assist in drafting laws and regulations that could guide the industry. Also policy documents. So lawyers play a very important role in ensuring that we have things in place in terms of how we will meet our obligations and avoid disputes, and if there are disputes, how we will settle those disputes, and so on.
And I'm listening to what you're saying and thinking of the Prime Minister saying that he or the present administration would have gone another route with regard to some of the tax incentives that were given out during the last administration. It might have been interesting if there was a student who went to did your course that you did in 2012, 2013, if they were there. But what is the focus of this biennial conference?
Right, so the first conference was held in 2015, and we're having the second conference this year. It will be next week, Thursday and Friday, the 8th and 9th of June at the Hilton Hotel in Port of Spain. We're being sponsored by BPTT, Shell, and EOG Resources Trinidad and Tobago. And we're very appreciative of the sponsorship that we've received for this conference, because without these type of strategic partners, it would not be possible. We also have delegates coming from Coventry Law School in the UK. They have a master's in oil and gas law. We have experts coming down from the Commonwealth Secretariat who specialize in ocean governance law and natural resources law. We have Dr. Robert Riley, a former BPTT executive, speaking at a conference, representatives from TTEITI, that's the Trinidad and Tobago Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, a number of delegates and representatives speaking on a cross-section of issues that are essential and important to the regulation of the oil and gas industry. So we find that this was important and necessary because after launching the course in 2012, 2013, and speaking with stakeholders, they felt that there was a need to really build and strengthen the capacity within Trinidad and Tobago so that we have an indigenous set of lawyers who are experts in the field, and Trinidad would no longer have to rely on external experts to come in and assist in oil contract negotiations or reform of the law. And not only should Trinidad develop its skill base, but also we look regionally. As a regional university, we've invited representatives from Guyana to come and speak. They're a new frontier in oil and gas law, and they're eager. So they have sent representatives from their Ministry of Natural Resources. They have an association called the Guyana Oil and Gas Law Association that will be represented at the conference. The Attorney General's Chambers and Ministry of Foreign Affairs will be coming down. The University of Guyana, the Guyana Bar Association. So several key persons. From Jamaica, we have delegates coming to participate in the conference. We have an interest from Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, Barbados. Barbados, they have an impact justice project, and they're sponsoring several persons to come. So it's really going to be a networking opportunity with persons in the industry, and we're focused on legal issues. Because you may hear of the Energy Conference, which is big and happens every year, but they have like a trade show and they deal not only about legal issues and sometimes seldom about legal issues, they deal about a multiplicity of issues generally in the energy industry.
Well, with that in mind, though, and looking at the amount of delegates you're coming from and the wide cross section, who do you want to attend from Trinidad and Tobago?
Right. So we have already received support, as I said, from various stakeholders and oil companies here. We would like to see more in terms of the attorneys in Trinidad and Tobago come into the conference, and we have liaised with the Trinidad and Tobago Law Association. So on their website, there's actually a link to the conference information. You can find a registration form, a flyer with general information, and a full agenda and program for the 2 days with all of the speakers and the topics and so on. So I would like to see more attorneys in Trinidad come into this conference because I think this is an area where we can develop skills. I think also from some of the ministries, like the Attorney General Chambers here, and some of the other government entities, the Environmental Management Agency, the Petrotrin, the local oil company, some of the local entities here I'd like to see showing more support and participation.
Do you have provisions for students in terms of early bird registration or some scholarships to the thing, seeing that there's a course now that people will be taking up? Do you have provisions for people to come to that?
Right. The course that I do, it's a third-year optional course. It's open to all of the law students. And we have, within the third year, about 150 students. Within the entire program, about 500 students. So those students, it's available for them to do the course. And to my students doing the oil and gas law course, I actually offer them the opportunity to come to the conference. And I'm pleased to say that we have allowed 15 students from the University of West Indies, not all from my course, but some PhD and master's students, to come free. So we waived the fee for them to come free to the conference because we are about training. We see ourselves at the University of West Indies as the premier tertiary education institution in the region. And we want to give back in any way that we could. So we have that opportunity. For delegates interested, the cost is $800 US for the 2 days. We are flexible if you want to come only 1 day, $400 US. And there's a group rate also if you're coming together as a group. But look at our website through the UWI'S edu website. You can just go in there and search and you'll see Faculty of Law or the Oil and Gas Law Conference, and you'll see the links and the program and the information, the contact information. The secretary dealing with all of the registrations, Alicia Phillips. You'll see her email, and her email is her name, alicia.phillips@sca.ue.edu, and her contact number and extension and everything. And she'll provide more information if you're interested in attending this conference.
In terms of going to the conference and being able to network, how important do you think it is to have that networking ability within this region among people who are dealing with oil and gas?
It is critically important, very important. And I'm a prime example of networking through the conference. The first conference that we had in 2015, it was a major success. And I used the opportunity to network and develop even more for this second conference. So sometimes through the conference, you can have partnerships and do further research in the area. You might see that something is critical. Someone might report on something that needs some research and revision, and you can then network with them and assist, provide that service. So for students, for practitioners, it's an opportunity. And for new frontiers like Guyana, they're now embarking upon oil and gas, and they would like to be guided. So one of the themes that we have on the second day, it would be lessons learned from industry insiders. And we have persons from the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries here that would be in part of a panel discussion discussing oil contracts and negotiation skills and so on. So it is critical that you network and you learn from each other in the region and internationally, because this is a specialized sector and there are only so many persons who specialize in the area. So I think bringing them together and sharing on the experience rather than going alone and fumbling and making mistakes. If there are things that we can identify and prevent those pitfalls, we want to use this opportunity to share and learn. Something that is also important that we're doing is that I intend to publish the proceedings from this conference. So I will record the proceedings and create links where persons can see that. especially my students. I'm not sure about the general public and the copywriting information that I'll have to go through with our marketing department in the university. But we will archive the information, and I want to publish some of the papers because that's something that's lacking in oil and gas law, that the course is new at the university. Even though Trinidad is not a new frontier, the education is new in this country. And documenting information, the legal information is also new. So I want to play an instrumental role in ensuring that that gets covered.
And we thank you for actually standing in and saying, okay, this is something that needs to be done,
Yes.
and I'm going to do it.
Yes.
Alicia Elias-Roberts, attorney at law and law lecturer,
Yes.
thank you very much. The UWI'S Oil and Gas Law Conference is on next week, June 8 and 9.
Yes.